She loved him more deeply than words could ever describe. But one secret, one truth too heavy to carry, shattered their world forever. From the very beginning, their love had seemed unbreakable, as if destiny itself had written their names. Side by side, they met in a sunlit park where laughter spilled freely and time felt like it belonged only to them. Her heart raced when he held her hand. His voice calmed every storm inside her, and in those early days, she believed nothing could ever separate them. Every walk under the trees, every whispered dream at night built a world of promises. Yet even in the midst of joy, a shadow followed silently, unseen, unspoken, hidden deep inside his soul. Something he could not control, something he feared would one day destroy the life they built together. And as months turned into years, she began to notice the change. The smiles that faded too quickly, the silences that grew longer, the way he turned away when she reached. For him, she tried to laugh it off at first, telling herself that stress or work must have worn him down, but in her heart she felt the truth pressing closer. The dinners once filled with endless conversations now ended in quiet tension. The nights once filled with closeness now left her staring at the ceiling in tears while he pretended to sleep. She whispered softly that love means sharing everything, but his reply was always the same, a broken whisper that some things are better left unsaid. And each time her chest grew heavier, her mind spinning with questions that had no answers. One evening at a restaurant, she wore a red dress, radiant and glowing, but her eyes carried the weight of loneliness. Across the table, he sat in silence, his gaze fixed on his plate, while around them couples laughed and toasted their love. She blinked back tears, realizing the man she loved more than life itself was drifting further from her reach. She still loved him, more fiercely than ever, but the distance between them had become a wall she could not climb until the day she discovered the journal, hidden beneath his drawer, her hands trembling as she opened it. Her heart pounding as the words spilled before her eyes, confessions of a man tormented by a truth he could not escape, page after page, filled with fear, insecurity, and shame. And in that moment she understood the silence, the distance, the fading smiles. She gasped as tears flooded her face, not because of the secret itself, but because he had never trusted her enough to share it. That night she stood in their bedroom holding the journal, her eyes burning with pain as she demanded answers, while he sat on the edge of the bed with his face buried in his hands. His voice cracked as he confessed that he had been terrified she would leave if she ever knew. Her tears fell quietly because she realized the cruel irony. By hiding it, he had already lost her. Rain fell heavy against the windows the night she stood with her suitcase by the door, her body trembling, her eyes swollen from crying, while he knelt before her, tears streaming, begging her not to go, his hands clutching at her as if holding her body could erase the truth, his voice breaking as he pleaded that he could not live without her. But her own voice shattered as she whispered that she had loved him more deeply than life itself. Yet the secret had already torn them apart. Her steps echoed in the hallway as she left, the storm outside mirroring the storm within. She turned once in the rain-soaked street, seeing him framed in the doorway, broken, defeated. A man who had lost everything by saying nothing. She walked on, her suitcase heavy, her heart heavier. In the park where they had once promised forever, she now sat alone, watching other couples laugh and walk hand in hand, each smile around her piercing like glass into her soul. She remembered their first laughter, their vows, their whispered dreams, all now destroyed by silence, while in the empty apartment he sat surrounded by photographs, his tears falling onto the faces frozen in happier times. Regret clawing at him, knowing he had loved her with everything in him, yet failed to trust her with his truth, and so they lived apart. Two hearts still beating for each other, but chained forever to the weight of what had been lost. She staring at sunsets, wishing the story could be rewritten. He drowning in sleepless nights, haunted by her smile. Both broken, both longing, both knowing that sometimes love, no matter how deep, is not enough to survive the silence, and as years stretch forward, the echo of their love lingers in every empty room, in every memory, in every tear unshed, reminding the world that betrayal is not always another person. Sometimes it is the secrets we keep, the silence we choose, and the trust we fail to give. For she loved him more deeply than words could ever describe. But one secret made her leave forever.